The back pressure is one of the most important arm wrestling strengths. It doesn't matter if you are a top roller, hooker or presser, you will need a strong back pressure. In this video, I'm going to rank the best and worst back pressure exercises on a tier list from S for super to F for fail. At the end, I will crown one exercise as the best of the best and one exercise that is a complete waste of time. Now, here are my criteria by which I'm going to rank the exercises. The first criteria, and by far the most important one, is how well the exercise transfers to the arm wrestling table. As arm wrestlers, our primary objective is to be strong on the arm wrestling table, and we use the gym training only to improve our performance on the table. The second criteria is being able to progress well over time. You can basically progress in any exercise, but the most important aspect is to be able to improve as fast as possible without injuring yourself. And the third criteria, which is closely related to the second one, is that the exercise must feel good. That means you won't have any significant pain during the exercise, and at the same time you recover well after training it. Remember, I'm going to rank the exercises based on my own opinion. I will try to be as objective as possible, but don't wonder if my choices are different from yours. If you have a different opinion, write it down in the comment section below. With that being said, let's start with the first exercise, dumbbell hammer curls. This exercise is great for building a strong brachioradialis muscle. It requires no special equipment, so everyone can do it. The downside of this exercise when it comes to arm wrestling is that you have to apply a lot of grip strength when training with heavy weights in order to hold the weight. This doesn't transfer very well to arm wrestling, because in arm wrestling, you are not trying to squeeze and crush your opponent's hand, but you will be able to progress pretty well and you won't have any pain from it. Dumbbell hammer curls goes into B tier. Continuing with EZ bar bicep curls. Here you can do three main variations. You can do it from standing, sitting down, or on a bench. If you do this exercise from standing, make sure you perform the reps as clean as possible. If you do the sitting down version, make sure you don't use your legs to bounce the weight up. And if you do it on a bench, go down until your forearms are parallel to the floor. In general, this is a great exercise to build strong biceps, and at the same time, it will also improve your side pressure. You will be able to add weight consistently, and you shouldn't have any pain if you do it with an EZ bar. Do not use a normal powerlifting bar, because this will put a lot of unnecessary stress on your wrist tendons. This exercise goes to A tier. The third exercise is back pressure on the table. You will have to grab the belt over your thumb. This will also put some pressure on your pronator. Also, make sure that the angle between your forearm and the rope is 90 degrees before you start lifting. This exercise is great because it really teaches you to apply your back pressure together with some pronation through the lower part of your wrist. This is the most important strength when pulling against hookers, because you will be able to neutralize the wrist. This is one of my favorite exercises because it translates extremely well to the table. You can progress in a healthy way and you won't have any problems from it. With that being said, this exercise goes straight to S tier. Moving on to lifting a dumbbell from the table. I see a lot of arm wrestlers doing this nonsense lift, even extremely good arm wrestlers. From a biomechanical perspective, this is a terrible exercise. Here, you'll use more of your leverage and not that much bicep strength. It is also unrealistic because in arm wrestling, you don't start lifting when your arm is already pinned. You could argue that this builds defensive strength, but I don't think that's the case. First of all, you shouldn't really ever train in a defensive position without targeting your pronator. You want to be as effective as possible, so having your pronator active even during defensive movements is extremely important. And secondly, the pressure that you experience when doing this exercise is completely unrealistic, because you won't ever experience such a pressure from a real opponent. That's why this exercise goes direct into the F tier, and I wouldn't recommend anyone to do it. The next exercise is pull-ups. Pull-ups are great and can even be considered a compound move for the sport of arm wrestling, because you train your fingers, wrist, brachioradialis and back at the same time. You should also use a neutral grip grip to simulate a real arm wrestling match. When it comes to pull-ups, you can do two main variations. You can do full range of motion or you can do partial pull-ups, which means you will go down until your arms are at a 90-degree angle. That's the angle you need on the arm wrestling table, and that is the angle that must be strong. You will be able to add weight or reps every session, which is a great advantage. But in my opinion, the only downside is that the stress on the brachyradialis muscle is pretty high, and you will need a few days to recover after hard training sessions. Pull-ups go for me in the A tier. Let's move on to one-arm bicep curls. I think every arm wrestler on the planet has done this exercise at least once. It is great for building strong biceps, and it will also improve your side pressure. It is very important to go down until your forearm is parallel to the ground. That's when your bicep works at its highest capacity. The biceps are extremely important in arm wrestling, especially if you are a hooker. But as I said before, even if you train a defensive lift, which is what this exercise is, you should always target your pronation. That's why, in my opinion, this exercise does not transfer 100% to the table, but it builds a lot of raw strength. You will be able to increase the weight pretty quickly from session to session, and I also never had pain from this exercise. That's why this one goes to B tier. Exercise number 7 is reverse bicep curls. This is the first exercise on the list where your hands are completely pronated. This exercise works mainly your brachyradialis muscle. In my opinion, this exercise will also improve your ability to sleep if you are someone who likes to pull in the strap. Like the EZ bar bicep curls, there are many variations that you can do, but the most common one is doing it from standing. When you do it clean, with good form and swinging as little as possible, the weights are extremely humbling. And because of that, you will not progress very fast in this exercise. At the same time, many arm wrestlers find it very uncomfortable when the hands are completely pronated. So with that being said, this exercise goes into C tier. Now let's move to another exercise that can be considered a compound move for the sport of arm wrestling, and that is dumbbell back rows. Again, a very popular lift that is done by almost every strength athlete. Like the pull-ups, when you train this lift, you train your back, brachyradialis, wrist and fingers all at the same time. If you want to target your fingers even more, you can add some fat grips. This is one of those exercises where you can swing a lot and use the momentum of your body to complete the reps. So that's why you should do the reps as clean as possible. But overall, you can progress really well in this exercise, and normally you won't have any problem recovering from it. So that's why this exercise goes to A tier. Another lift that I see arm wrestlers doing all the time is bicep curls with the EZ hammer bar. This one is very similar to the second exercise with the normal EZ bar. The only difference is that here your hands are almost in a completely neutral position, which means the main stress goes on the brachyradialis muscle. As a top roller, this exercise is extremely important. If you don't have any special equipment, this is really a great exercise that you can do in any commercial gym to get stronger on the arm wrestling table. The Georgians are extremely strong in this exercise, but I wouldn't recommend you to swing as much as they do. This one goes for me into A tier. And the last one on the list is hammer curls with the belt. This exercise will also make your brachyradialis muscle much stronger. I did this exercise for quite some time, but my mistake was that I did it with my elbow in the air, which is not that realistic because in arm wrestling, your elbow is always fixed on the pad. Doing this exercise with your elbow fixed on a bench is much more realistic. If you don't have a bench, you can do it like shown in the video, at a power rack. The downside is that the weight will swing a lot and it will hit your leg the whole time. The exercise that I showed you earlier in the video is, in my opinion, the better version of this. But if you don't have a table, you can do this and expect pretty good results. This exercise goes into B tier. Now, if I had to pick only one exercise to crown as the best back pressure lift, it has to be the back pressure on the table. Considering the fact that you will grab the belt over your thumb, which will also attack your pronation. This is the best back pressure exercise that translates on the arm wrestling table. When it comes to the worst exercise, I didn't really include bad exercises in this video, because the truth is, most exercises will benefit you in some way or another. But if I had to pick one from this list, it would be the dumbbell lift from the table. Just don't do that exercise. It's complete nonsense and a waste of time. These were 10 back pressure exercises, ranked from S for super to F for fail. If you don't agree with my list, drop your opinion in the comment section below. Also, if my videos are helping your arm wrestling game grow, consider supporting the channel. Link is down below. Keep your eyes on this channel, great stuff is coming.